It's been hard to keep track of all of the appeals court rulings, whether it's in the Ninth Circuit, whether it is at the Supreme Court, concerning the administration and all the variety of lawsuits that have been filed against it. The Ninth Circuit, and you can remind us about how much we should trust what they think. They say the president could not move funds for the wall. Explain this, please.
That's right. They said that the commander-in-chief cannot divert military funds in order to build the border wall. But the Ninth Circuit is the most reversed circuit in the country, and I think it's very interesting how it doesn't really pertain to Texas, because Texas is not a part of the Ninth Circuit. It's a part of the Fifth Circuit. So maybe the money could be used to build the wall on the Texas side. Who knows? But it's a very limited amount of the budget. I think it might put a little delay in it, but at the end of the day, I think the Supreme Court needs to figure out what exactly the commander-in-chief can and cannot do.
We have talked about the issue of circuit courts and their rulings with regard to some ag issues with dicamba and some other things, but it bears repeating. The Ninth Circuit has to do with states on the West Coast. In this case, it happens to be a lawsuit concerning California, Arizona, and New Mexico. Well, by all rights, the ruling of the Ninth Circuit only applies for states in the Ninth Circuit. You're in the Fifth, I'm in the Eighth. It has no bearing on anything here. So, other than the fact that the Trump administration could say, fine, we'll just take those California dollars and move them to Texas, which they certainly could do with all sorts of judicial blessing, why would somebody file a lawsuit in the Ninth Circuit?
I never heard of somebody filing a lawsuit for political reasons. Can you believe that? It never happened.
And there's no such phrase as forum shopping either in the law, right?
Exactly. The Ninth Circuit is definitely the most liberal. If you have a case that is very liberal policy like immigration, you want it in that circuit, and you'll do anything you can to make sure it's there. But I think they brought it up for political reasons, saying, look, we don't want this ugly, tacky wall that you say, Trump, is beautiful. Not in our house. Maybe Texas, they have a very, very large border.
So why might someone who is in favor of the spending file a lawsuit preemptively in the Fifth Circuit with the hope at the very least of getting a split of jurisdictions? Because if you have the Ninth Circuit voting one way, the Fifth Circuit or some other circuit voting the other way, that really does make it fodder for the U.S. Supreme Court to settle the tie, in essence.
Exactly. And even though the Ninth Circuit ruling has no sway on the Eighth Circuit or on the Fifth Circuit, it could be used as persuasive. Maybe say, hey, courts, the Ninth Circuit did this, so you should do that as well and follow suit because we have the stare decisis already here. And if you bring up the Ninth Circuit argument in Texas, they will shut it down real quickly. They'll say, this is the reason why we shouldn't rule in your favor because of this. But yes, I think two competing views might make the Supreme Court want to rule on it a little bit quicker.
Don't give me any of this Ninth Circuit stuff, right? I mean, that's the easiest way to make your point. I suppose if you're in favor, you just simply hold up the ruling and say, Ninth Circuit. That's all I have. And it can,
right.
It might actually
I've made a lot of legal arguments on less than that. So